Liberty and safety are poles the United States has had to navigate carefully over the past 15 years, when the threats to each have shapeshifted to a degree unimaginable in the 20th century, let alone the 18th.
The evolution in the sophistication and intensity of cyber attacks in 2014 was astonishing. And as bad as it was in 2014, it got worse in the last month. In December, the German government reported that hackers had caused massive damage to an iron plant by disabling the electronic shutoff systems that turned off the furnaces.
Maria, one of the astonishing things is the evolution in the nature of the cyber threat. There was a report in the Wall Street Journal yesterday saying that Iranians are allegedly trying to breach into a dam in New York State. And so that critical infrastructure is a legitimate component now of the cyber threat.
In Davos, Switzerland this past winter, the World Economic Forum saw cybersecurity catapulted to the full attention of governments and business leaders. Among those bringing it front and center was the Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Marsh McLennan Companies, Peter J. Beshar. 24 years earlier, Peter, fresh out of law school and a clerkship for a district court judge, found himself in Bosnia and Herzegovina. He had been tapped to serve as special assistant to the Honorable Cyrus Vance in his role as the UN's envoy to broker peace and an end to the genocide in the Balkans. Peter saw firsthand how chaos and ethnic hatreds can overwhelm a destabilized polity. The Vance-Owen Plan was an important first step in the eventual accord reached in Dayton 2 years later that ended the war. Lawlessness and the proliferation of arms wasn't strictly an otherworld issue. The death of a co-worker's nephew to gang violence in New York led Peter to seek work as Assistant Attorney General, charged with leading a task force on illegal firearms. In the private sector, Peter rapidly proved his mettle, working his way up to litigation partner at the law firm of Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher, and eventually moved to the Marsh McLennan Companies, world leaders in the field of risk assessment, strategy, and people. As its Executive Vice President and General Counsel, Peter leads the legal, compliance, government relations, and risk management departments for this global enterprise. In 2015, Peter was appointed by President Obama as a trustee of the Woodrow Wilson Center for International Scholars and by Governor Cuomo as a trustee of the Empire State Development Corporation. Not to be outdone, John Jay College invited him to join its own board of trustees. In this role, Peter made a priority of supporting the ultimate guardians of our security, the over 500 military veterans among its students, a constituency greater here than at any other CUNY college. As chair of the board's Veterans Committee, he's helped engineer an array of initiatives to help veterans transition to civilian life at the college and find great fellowships and jobs. John Jay was recently named the #3 Best for Vets college in the entire U.S. by Military Times. At Marsh McLennan, his passion for veterans issues also led him to serve as one of the executive sponsors of the company's commitment to hire 500 vets in 3 years. Recently, he took it further by convening a roundtable of companies with global reach who will step up to do the same. While only at mid-career, Peter has time and again found opportunities to build public-private partnerships to protect us. As Peter recently noted, Ben Franklin pioneered such solutions in the case of fires besetting Philadelphia by designing the lightning rod, the Franklin stove, originating fire insurance, and introducing the first all-volunteer fire brigade. Peter's work to get 30 corporations to rally behind the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act, just passed by Congress, may be the beginning of such a firewall for our day.
So this is the type of thing that has to happen between industry on the one hand and government on the other. Whether the issue is encryption or the sharing of spear phishing campaigns or the latest form of attack, there just has to be a good faith exchange between the industry and the government.
As he helps to foster that exchange, it may be fitting to point out, especially at a place like John Jay, that Peter can say that justice is his middle name. Because it is.